huge leaks for the next Fortnite season have just dropped, as we're going to take a look at everything, including a brand new teaser that literally just dropped a few seconds ago. There is so much to go over. Let me just deal with this person quickly. See you later. Let's go back to the first teaser that dropped only a few days ago. You guys may have seen it, but what you won't have seen is all the information tied with it, including mythic weapon information, news on how these skins will actually be bosses on the island, and so much more that you don't want to miss. First teaser shows the skin Zeus with a star alignment and a lightning bolt arrow that is in his hand, and this is actually going to be a mythic that is literally usable next season. Who's chilling? That's going back to the lobby, mate. I'll see you in the next season. It'll actually feature 3 different attacks, and when you pick up this mythic and have it in your hand, you will actually float up in the air and attack from the air in 3 different ways. It'll either be a single strike, which I presume will be a little bit more powerful, deal a little bit more damage, or it'll be a cluster strike, where the attacks will be spaced out a little bit, or it can be an area burst attack, giving 3 different ways to use this mythic ability, and this is just one of several mythics that will be available next season. Yesterday's teaser was for Hades, showing what can only be described as like an incredibly cool whip with like a snake's head at the end of it. We can get a closer look at a variant of this skin thanks to the concept art that has been shared already, and this will actually be a boss on the map that we can actually go ahead and take down. One of the things I absolutely love about this season, all the bosses, the mythics, the medallions, and all of that will be continuing next season. The Fortnite know what the community are enjoying, which is a fantastic thing to see. Back to this boss and the weapon he's holding. This will be a mythic as well, a mythic whip, like a chain whip that will also have multiple attacks that we can take advantage of. The boss will be sending out green flames and using that whip, so taking him down will not be easy, which is definitely the case for almost all of these bosses, and getting hold of their mythics, none of them are going to be easy to get hold of. They will also be able to teleport around the map, making this extra hard. It will be featured at a specific temple POI, which will be a new area on the map within next season. Now, the newest teaser that has literally dropped just a few minutes ago at the time of recording this video is for Aphrodite. You can see that her star alignment on her back is all focused around wings, which is actually the reason I've put wings on my character for this video, as wings are going to play a huge part in the next season, specifically for mobility and movement for getting around the island. Now, I personally believe that the wings in this teaser are just going to be her back bling. There'll be like a different, smaller variant of the wings will actually be tied to mobility for the next season, because Fortnite's competitive Twitter account tweeted out literally just a few days ago saying that you can walk or sprint when competing. Let's say you were able to do something else. Partner this with the fact that Mark Rain, one of the highest people up in the world of Epic Games, who always gives out a one-word teaser a few days before the season starts, gave out the specific teaser Wings just a few days ago. And then earlier today, a leaker came out and found out information and shared it publicly that directly connects Wings with being a new movement item that will be available next season. This is tied to the Hermes NPC. Now, this is not to be mistaken as a boss like most of the other characters we've talked about so far. This will be an NPC, so you can go up to them, interact with them, and buy things off them. If you take a look at the design of Hermes, he's obviously got wings in his head, wings in his shoe. This guy is zipping around as a Greek god, and it's time to take these guys down, as they are actually a very good example, believe it or not, of how a lot of the bosses will actually act and behave next season, because a lot of them are actually going to have their own like team around them of additional NPCs that will actually help guard them and make taking them down even harder. A little bit like those guys there. The more of those little minions that appear, the harder that they are to take down, and all of the bosses for next season will have their own little minions as well. But back about those wings and the Hermes NPC, you'll be able to buy them off them, just like I've got the grappler here, for example, which is like one of the main ways to get around this season, along with like the shockwave grenades, for example. The wings will also be epic rarity rather than mythic, and if I was to guess how these things work, I'd presume it'd be very similar to, say, the broomstick, for example, that we get around Halloween time, or a lot of the collaboration mythics that we get for movement, where you like zip up in the air, you don't go too high, but you float a little bit. I think it'll work very, very similar to this and make getting around the island really, really cool and fun. And we're going to have to be shooting a lot of people out the sky. Now, the next boss we have information on is Cerberus, who looks absolutely awesome. One of my favorite skins I think is going to be coming out next season. And he could be one of the most popular bosses next season because of the weapon he'll actually drop. he's going to have his own custom Cerberus shotgun, which you'll be able to get once you've taken him down. But taking him down, guys, will not be easy, okay? The Cerberus shotgun will apparently behave very similar to the tactical shotgun, so not as fast firing as like the shotgun, the Frenzy Auto that we've had this season. A little bit quicker than the pumps. This thing will deal like medium damage, decent fire rate. To be honest with you, tac shotguns have always been super popular and really, really good since the beginning of Fortnite. And this mythic version of the Cerberus shotgun will be incredible, but he will spawn in wolves. Yes, literal wolf NPCs will be around him, protecting him, taking him down even harder. They do not want to make it easy to take down these mythic bosses and get all of the mythic weapons. You know what? I gotta respect it. A little bit like this season with all of the guards that surround all of the bosses on the island. You make a lot of noise and you've got to deal a lot of damage and be accurate. Next season is definitely carrying on that trend. Next boss that we know about is called Ares. If we take a look at the character, the mythic will align with the design of his skin, which is like armor, Spartan, Titan themed. Will be some sort of either spear, sword, or shield associated with this skin, which will be extremely powerful, as are all the mythics, obviously, that come from any of these bosses. And Ares will also have his own waves of minions that will be super, super annoying. It will spawn in waves, meaning that you have to constantly take them down. I mean that getting his mythic will also be really, really tough, guys. Ooh, there's a sniper over here. Bosses still do not stop there. It's one of my favorite skins we've got an early look at, thanks to all the images that I'm showing you here, is Medusa, with literal snakes in her hair and multiple styles already found. Thanks to these imageries, I think she's going to be one of the coolest skins in the Battle Pass, which, by the way, before we get into her a little bit more, this season is coming out literally on Friday. It's a few days away with the next teaser, the final teaser dropping tomorrow, giving us an early look at another one of these skins that you can pop in code ALIA into the item shop in the bottom right hand corner. Now is the best way to support me. If you're enjoying all the information that I'm sharing with you guys and all of the news, you do not want to be missing everything that's going to be dropping on Friday, and I'll be covering here on my channel. But back to Medusa. She will also be a boss, have her own dark energy that she fires out, and if you get a little bit too close and you're trying to shotgun her to take her down quickly, she'll have a shockwave area of effect attack that will actually blast you away, meaning again taking these people down. I'm telling you, these bosses will not be easy. And weirdly enough, I'm actually at what I think will be the location that she'll spawn at, because it's currently called Broken Ruin POI, and this is Ruined Reels, so this could be the literal area that Medusa spawns as a boss on the map. So get good at this landing spot. It could really, really help you. It's crazy if it's like Greek-style POIs are already in here since the beginning of the season, literally telling us what the next season is going to be like. And so many of us just didn't clock onto it. And one of the cool new things coming to the game, for any of you guys that may remember golden mythic consumables, I'm talking about like golden mushrooms, for example. These things are very old and were not in the game for very long, but several times now Fortnite have added these things into the game. The mythic mushroom, for example, is like a 1 in 100,000 chance of actually being spawned and being found in game. When consumed, will give you all of your shield, all of your health back, and was super, super powerful but mega, mega rare. Well, Fortnite are working on a golden apple consumable that will be coming next season, which will most likely be equally as rare, giving you loads of heal ability, just like the other golden consumables we've seen before. But this one will also give you a speed boost as well, meaning Fortnite are really going all out in making things really as fast-paced and as crazy as possible for next season. But let's not forget that with everything new, there will come stuff that has to go and become old. One of the biggest things that I've really enjoyed this season, and I actually wish was a little bit easier to access, was actually modding. Now, I love being able to mod weapons, make that sniper rifle zoom in as fast as you really want to, but on the perfect scope that you really, really want. I thought it was amazing. I actually think mod benches should have been more readily available and more across the map, but we don't know whether or not these things will actually return for sure in next season. If I was a betting man, I'd say it's very, very likely that mods will stay, because they've put so much time and effort into making this a part of the Fortnite game, but it's not a guarantee that it will stick around. Just a heads up. Now, we've had lots of news and lots of talks about mythic bosses and mythic weapons, but not much information, if any at all, about medallions and the return of the medallion crescent currently that we can get on the island. So in my opinion, are again one of the best parts of the current season that we are in. And I think Fortnite would be giant dum-dums to go ahead and decide that those things don't need to stay in the game, but are a risk of happening. Personally, I think medallions for each of the god bosses make so much sense to actually be in the game, more so probably than the season we're actually in. Maybe they'll work a little bit differently. Like maybe they won't necessarily be directly associated with just healing. Maybe they'll actually be improved and actually do something a little bit different. See you later. The Fortnite could always tweak them, maybe even make them even better, which would be awesome. And as always, there will definitely be unvaulting and vaulting of different weapons in game as well. One thing that will be changing for sure and will be getting better, which we've actually been waiting for a long time, and Fortnite actually promised us a long time ago as well. Ooh, didn't like that, did you? Off you go. Off you go. See you later. It's actually to do with locker UI, and Fortnite are always customizing this, always changing this, always making our lockers look a little bit different. The most recent one, a lot of people weren't too happy about, to be honest with you, and Fortnite actually said a long time ago, basically last year, that they would go ahead and improve this and tweak this and listen to community feedback, which is fantastic, but nothing has happened since then until one of the devs actually replied to a tweet saying that not long now until some big improvements will be happening in-game, specifically for our lockers. And of course, with the new season just a few days away, he's basically saying that Chapter 5 Season 2 will see changes implemented and hopefully make our lockers look even more beautiful and even more nicely laid out than ever before. It'd be really cool if the mid-game island here stays in some form. I'm not 100% positive it will. Feels like one of those things that Fortnite can really easily change up and switch, but it does make it really cool knowing that there's a POI on the map that actually will give you an advantage and only appears later on in the game, giving Epic the ability to add things in that are super strong and powerful but can't necessarily be collected right at the beginning of the game. So for that reason, it could be something that is kept and Epic Games continue to use it as a way of controlling some of the more powerful items that end up being in the next season. And one thing I've got a ton of comments about after my informational video on Season 2 earlier this week is the Kratos collaboration. Because this skin hasn't come back to the item shop for so long, so many people want it, this would be the perfect season to bring it back. Although what's more likely to happen is actually a younger form of Kratos coming to the game. According from leakers online, this is actually what will be happening, fitting Kratos, a young version of him, into the item shop with a Greek god theme. Like, I am so excited to see all of the item shop skins and collaborations that come next season. They're gonna be incredible. And for potentially the last time this season, your boy has claimed the middle island and all of the loot is mine. Thank you. Just decide to rock a load of mobility. Next season, it'll be wings in my inventory rather than a grappler. Oh, but. Auto bunkers. You know what? I'm going to go with this. Bunkers are so useful at endgame zero build. If you didn't see my last video, I'm very excited to try and grind out for Unreal rank next season. I almost did it and almost completed it this season. It was extremely close. About halfway through champion. But for next season, to be one of the coolest things to actually flex and rock and tell the world what rank you actually are with the Odyssey skin, who's currently actually on the island as an NPC, believe it or not. So technically, we actually have a Chapter 5 Season 2 skin already in game, but her armor will be fully customizable and reflective of the rank that you're currently in the next Fortnite season. So if you're bronze, it'll be bronze armor. If you're unreal, it'll be like a cool glowy, unreal looking armor. I think Epic Games know how popular ranked mode is in Fortnite and how people just want to show off that they've grinded and what rank they've managed to reach. This is a really cool way of doing that and giving even more reason to grind and play ranked mode. And one thing that is obviously huge on the island right now is a little hand with a fire tornado coming out of it. This is literally leading us into the next theme. By the way, if you're interested in the story, Peely went missing this season, and thankfully Jonesy managed to recover him and get him out of the clutches of the society, who are basically all the bosses that are currently on the island. They're in the society. So Peely is free. Peely is back with us. But we didn't manage to stop this giant hand coming out the ground with everything that's coming out of the box, which is actually Pandora's box, which contains all of the evil and all of the gods that will be coming to us next season. If I was to guess, I feel like the hand probably will stay here. Maybe the box and the fire tornado won't. We've got a little NPC to their name. Okay, I see how it is. I do not have a sniper, though, so I got to be careful, as my head will come clean off. Two things that I really don't actually want to return this season is, believe it or not, this shotgun. It's the only one I use, but it's so spammy and just feels so cheap. It's like a drum shotgun. And I think I much prefer it when Fortnite actually focuses on you being a little bit more accurate with a slower to fire shotgun, in my opinion. And snipers, as much as I've loved them, I think them being so customizable with mods and so quick to zoom in and so many different sights, maybe we won't see one-shot headshot snipers return. I can't guarantee that, by the way. It's just a guess for these two things. They are probably the most powerful things in this season, so Fortnite will definitely be adjusting those things. I think that's almost for sure. One thing that I realized when thinking about it the other day is that because we're all buying skins for our cars in Fortnite, oh my god, okay, run! So they can't actually remove the really fast cars from the game. Because if we can no longer drive the, like, super fast cars around the map, I may have just ditched this, guys. Yeet! And all of those V-Bucks that we spent on our beautiful looking cars then become completely useless. And Fortnite are not going to want that, so expect cars to definitely stay. Not necessarily the armored vehicles, though, because as we know, those things aren't customizable. And as a result, those things could cycle out. And the armored vehicles are probably the most OP vehicles on the map right now. So again, I wouldn't be too sad to see them go. No offense. I know a lot of you guys will be sad, though. Ooh, a few beams coming in there. Drop that to an SMG. We are in one of the final fights of the game here, so things are going to get quite intense. But there was someone literally a sniper rifle right there looking at me. There's some big damage in there, though. See you later. Whoa! Get me in there. It's going to be a crazy one. No! He had the mythic shotgun! Guys, next season is going to be incredible. But if you want to find out about even more things that have been removed from the history of Fortnite that most people forgot about, you can click on screen here to see it all. I'll see you over there.